Hey there, welcome to the Microfiber Wholesale Show, where we talk with cleaning professionals about how to better run and grow your cleaning business. To learn more about who we are and what we do, visit us at microfiberwholesale.com. I'm here today with Melissa from MadePro. So, Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're happy to have you on the show. So, I'll start and let you just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your professional background and then your role with MadePro now.
Gladly. I have been in the cleaning industry almost 20 years now. My introduction to the industry was that I worked as a commercial chemicals salesperson for Procter & Gamble for, I think it's almost 9 years in total between internships and full-time work, working with a wide variety of large commercial chemical users, usually contract cleaning chains as well as distributorships, and getting a lot of real hands-on learning, becoming the troubleshooter for those companies for years. You get calls in the middle of the night of, oh goodness, we're trying to take over this new mall and there's something terrible going on with the elevators. How do we get it off? And things like that. So there was a lot of in-field learning for years. And then that's actually what brought me to my current career, which is working for MadePro. I am their chief cleaning officer. My role within the franchise is the subject matter expert in our actual end product of cleaning homes. I research all of our chemical choices, equipment choices, make sure we're training our employees properly in terms of safety and training procedures, develop all of our training materials and things of that nature. And then I also spend a lot of my time coaching offices individually on the cleaning challenges they face. So I'll get calls, across the country with, gee, this customer has, hard water on their glass door and it won't come off. We've tried everything. What do you suggest? Oh, we scratched a stainless steel fridge over in this, state. How do we fix it? Anything like that. So I call my position part research, part MacGyvering. And I've been with MadePro for 10 years now. I've worked a lot, not only consulting the franchisees on the business in general, but now specifically focusing on the cleaning aspect of this business. And here I am.
Well, let me start you off with I'm gonna start you off with a tough question so it doesn't get too easy for you. What is since you've been at MadePro, what is kind of the biggest mistake you've learned? What's been the big lesson you've taken away over the last 10 years?
The biggest mistake I've learned. Ouch. All right, so I'll make myself look bad right away. I can do that. I think the biggest mistake I've made is thinking that what's obvious to me is obvious to everybody. In the initial stages of my working within this organization, I figured out that we have, at MadePro at least, we have over 180-something locations across the U.S. and Canada, which means 180-something different personalities, emotional histories, ways of approaching and looking at problems, and understanding that within this role, within this company, that you really have to allow people to come to their own conclusions about the solution to something. You can't just say, hey, I've done the research and the answer is X, because there's no good reason for them to necessarily just take you on faith. You need to make sure that you're giving them the ability to, take videos of testing things side by side or, present to them the different choices and let them go, oh, yeah, you have done your homework. That makes sense to me. I get it. Some people, the selling point is an emotional choice. Some of them, they need data and numbers. Some data and numbers overwhelm them. But you have to give them those tools to embrace it themselves. Because as a franchisor, if it's ever just here's the top-down, we tell you what to do answer, it will never feel good. Even if it's the right answer, even if it's working, they're not going to be happy. You have to make sure that you've gotten their buy-in, that you've helped them emotionally come to the conclusion that this is the right choice, and that is what drives their satisfaction with the solutions you're giving them. Even if it's the same correct answer, taking that extra time to sell everybody on it, and not just sell them. It's not the old razzle-dazzle, but actually letting them see what you're doing and believe in it and come to their own conclusion that, yeah, this is the right way to go, makes a huge difference in adoption and satisfaction with whatever it is that hopefully I've researched for them in terms of solutions. My big mistake in the beginning was not getting that process, trying too hard to just say, here's the idea. And I've since learned and gotten a lot better and happier franchisees as I've learned to help them kind of do the research with me, as it were.
I totally resonate with what you're saying. That's definitely a lesson I learned when I started managing people and working with people. And you're probably a better salesman or saleswoman than I am at it. Oftentimes, the way I solve it is I just kind of, I don't think that's going to work, but if you want to try it, go for it. And then Usually once it doesn't work out, they'll come back and they're a lot more interested in hearing what your opinion is than if you just kind of dictated it from the get-go.
Isn't it the truth?
What's been the biggest success? What would you say is one of the bigger breakthroughs you've had at MaidPro?
Let's see. I think for me, one of the greatest successes I'm very proud of currently actually isn't quite directly in cleaning. Well, it is and it isn't. I very much am of the belief that my role as subject matter expert on the actual cleaning of the home makes me as much in charge of our employee as it is of our chemicals and products. We call our cleaning staff at MaidPro pros as professionals, and so I just want to make sure I clarify that so I'm talking about pros and you know who I mean. I believe our pros are our end product. The quality of our staff, the pride they take in their work, their professionalism is what sets MaidPro apart. And, as much as I love all the soap and equipment that I found for them, quite frankly, I could load them up with the crappiest stuff in the dollar store, and the right employee with the right work ethic and the right pride in her work will make a beautiful clean, regardless of what under equipment you've given them. So I've made a focus in my work to helping develop our staff both in their professional training, motivating them, and also recruiting the best we can find. So I've kind of recently taken on some of our marketing department's work and working on our employee recruitment marketing, and basically rehash the way we advertise to our employees in Craigslist, working with our marketing department. And we've seen a huge explosion in the number of applicants coming into MaidPro as a result of it. And I'm very proud of that work because it's changed a lot of our MaidPro locations' ability to be even pickier with their staff. In this industry, I'm sure you've heard it, the cleaning industry average turnover is some 300%. In residential cleaning, it's outrageous, the number of employees that a local cleaning company will usually go through. And that the chaos of that turnover is grinding on the business itself. It's also grinding on the customer. So being able to be pickier and pick that rock star employee that really is going to stick, that is going to provide that level of professionalism that our customers come to expect from MaidPro, changes everything. It changes the complexity of the cleaning that I can present to them. I can give them more challenging products to work with, ones that require more expertise and training, and trust that they'll be able to do it because we can hire caliber of cleaner. Whereas if we're shortage of recruits, then you're trying to dumb down everything to who might come in. And I wanted to change the game on that. And so far it looks like I'm starting to, which I'm really proud of. We'd always done it organically, but it took a lot of work from our franchisees of just constantly putting out tear sheets and billboards and recruiting through and the staff and just, trying every way they could to find more recruits, to find those diamonds in the rough. And what we've been able to do recently in terms of employee recruitment has kind of changed the power dynamic where they really feel like, gee, there's a ton of people coming in and I can really be picky. And it's not that desperately, scrounging for employees anymore situation, which is great.
Of the changes you've made to the hiring process, what are one or two that would have been the highest impact? What's really helped increase the quality and the quantity of people you have coming in?
In terms of actual cleaning care?
In terms of the...
You'll laugh, but sometimes it's the littlest. Say again?
Yeah, in terms of the hiring process. So you said you've been able to kind of institute this new process where you're having both a lot more people apply and a lot more qualified people apply. And I'm just curious what the keys are there.
Yeah, so basically I help, in terms of our being able to turn the page on our employee recruitment, the biggest thing was remodeling our employee advertising, particularly through Craigslist. In this industry, Craigslist is, at least for us, the number one driver of new recruitment. Everyone that's looking for hourly work is out on Craigslist, and you have to be on there heavily advertising, often posting your ads regularly, several times a week, ideally, to keep you fresh and on top of that list. And basically, we remodeled the advertisement, took the time to focus the language on the benefits to the employee. We changed it so that it's in HTML format. In Craigslist, a lot of the ads just look like a bunch of text thrown up there by somebody in 5 minutes, and away it goes. We wanted ours to actually look like a professional ad, with a clear, here, apply now type of button, and it's really helped make our ads stand out and convey the level of professionalism that we as a company are expecting and providing. A lot of cleaners in the industry feel very much like they're not treated or expected to be professionals or not respected as professionals. Having the advertising really approach them as the tradesmen that they are and treating them as such seems to have really resonated with our recruiting base. and getting the fact that this is a company that is providing a entry-level cleaning job that treats and hires and pays for and gives them benefits in the way that most people expect of, much more, I guess, white-collar type positions, and treats them as professional tradesmen as the way you would interact with a electrician or a plumber, not just, oh, you're just the maid, end quote. Getting away from that mindset really stands out to our employee base, and they understand that the maid pro, we really going to treat them differently and we respect them differently. And it seems to have caused a lot more ads to come in, so it's working.
Well, congratulations. And that's one mistake I've seen other people make. That is, to your point, you said working with marketing on the hiring processes, people don't view hiring as a marketing activity when it really is.
Absolutely.
Like, to be able to recruit the best people, you have to treat it as a piece of your marketing.
I couldn't agree more.
And getting the best people in is often, it does the marketing for you. They come in and they provide the better service, and that pays dividends down the road.
Well, in particular, one of the biggest mistakes I see in this industry, and our office can often be guilty as charged, is, as far as I'm concerned, the employees and the customers are to be treated the same way, with that same sort of TLC that you would treat in your end consumer. You should be treating your recruits and cleaning staff. A lot of companies get into this mindset that, they'll turn on the graciousness and the charm and the focus of their attention when a customer calls or a customer walks in the office. But when it's just, quote, one of the cleaners or that mindset or just an applicant, it's that blow-off kind of, I can treat them however type of attitude that I don't blame the cleaning crews around the country resenting. It amazes me the treatment that is often given to these incredibly hardworking women in this industry. And, I try to train our maid pros to make it different. We call ourselves the Maid Pro family, and it better darn well feel that way. A lot of them really get that and embrace that to heart. When a new employee recruit walks to the door, they get that same, please hold on the phone, let me come go help this person, first focus, let me come up, get up off my desk and shake your hand, offer you water, take care of you, graciousness that the customers expect when they walk through the front door. Whereas a lot of companies, it's, there's an application on the table, I'll get to you in a few minutes, and they're back on the phone to the customer because that's who they treat as their top priority. And it's that blow-off that really, stings so much from this incredibly hardworking group of women. And I want to make that something that's different than our maid pros, and it really is.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's something people can really relate to. I know I've been to job interviews where it's been that scenario, like you're kind of an afterthought. And it's like, well, is this a company I'm really excited to work for?
And nothing upsets me more than, because we always, shop our competition to see how they're treating the staff as well as the customers. And you'll call saying, I'm here, I'm calling looking for a cleaning job. And the first response is all this, well, do you have this? Do you have this? Are you legal? Are you that? Whatever type, sort of on the attack almost. And it floors me. It's like, this person, you're hoping someday you can be a rock star employee that's going to be, on a snowy, miserable day, that going out to bend, lift, and scrape for you, and you're going to treat them this way as your hello? At least not a Maid Pro. I'm passionate about training our Maid Pro owners to, flip that mindset and understand that, our employees come first. Our Maid Pro family comes first. If you're good to your staff and treat them like family and help them grow as professionals, the customers will come, because the customers will be able to see that our employees conduct themselves differently because they feel pride in their work and they feel appreciated and respected. If you can get that part right, everything flows from that. And treating them as this sort of commodity is, I think, what kills so many small businesses. They've gotten sort of bitter and cynical and presuming that, the staff is going to be challenging or not able to act as professionals. And they believe it so hard they make it for themselves, and they treat everyone that way. So only the people that are willing to tolerate being treated that way are the ones that stay and work for them. And so they are surrounded by the very people they, dreaded and presumed would show up, and they made it that way for themselves,
Absolutely. Well, let me pivot you, Melissa, towards something else that I suspect you're passionate about, certainly very knowledgeable about. Is there a specific strategy or method for cleaning a home that you have found to be superior? Do you start in a specific spot? Do you go room by room? Do you go cleaning tool by cleaning tool?
Great question. Of course, I will gladly geek out on cleaning for as long as you let me. I will say that for me, what I found to be the most important pieces of cleaning isn't as much the specific techniques on each surface, so much as your strategic approach to the property itself. And what I mean by that is At Maypro, we clean each house in the same order based on trying to manage cross-contamination and as well as manage employee stamina and energy. So we start cleaning in the kitchen, then we go to the bathrooms, followed by the living areas on that level. If you're envisioning a standard colonial home, you'd march in, clean the kitchen first, go upstairs, hit the master bathroom, any remaining bathrooms, the bedrooms up in that area, stairs and hallway on the way down, go hit the lower levels, new bathrooms there first, then living areas, then back to the main area, working the living areas out. It sounds like a bizarre order, but the reason for it is our number one risk as a professional company is bringing illness from home to home. A lot of the smaller businesses and independent maids don't think about it, but they can be patient zero for quite a large population if they're not careful. We color code our supplies. We use separate wash. Anything that's soft is washed and fresh for each customer. And we have separated color-coded supplies so that our employees can never make the mistake of accidentally wiping down your dining room table with a rag that was used in the bathroom or anything of that nature. And again, a lot of other companies just don't provide their employees with stuff to help them do that and avoid that risk. But the cleaning order actually forces that issue. The most dangerous thing we could do is take germs from the bathroom area and bring it into the customer's into their kitchen. So we clean that kitchen first so that we can't cross-contaminate it. And we're also doing the bathrooms first and then switching color-coded supplies so that it's very clear and obvious. We've finished our wet cleaning. We're now into bedrooms and dining rooms and what have you with new colored supplies so that, again, the employee can't make the mistake of accidentally contaminating food surfaces. It also manages our employees' energy. The most challenging part of a clean is that kitchen and bathroom deep scrub work. And if you accidentally leave a bathroom to the end of a 5-6 hour day of cleaning, good luck. There's no way you're doing quality work. Doing that during the first couple hours of the clean when your body still can handle it is critical to getting that deep clean that we want to provide our customer. So we've approached the house with a very specific order. We also approach each room with a very specific order. We clean in something we call our cleaning spiral, where you're following your dominant hand around the property. So if I were a right-handed person, I march into a room, find the closest left-hand top corner, and I'm cleaning around the room in a spiral down each layer until I've cleaned the baseboards, floor, and then leave the room. This allows us to work with gravity so that all the dirt is being driven down to the ground rather than, I've seen that classic mistake where everyone's trying to clean the counters by sweeping the crumbs into their hand because they're worried about getting it on the floor. And then they forget, the ceiling fan, they just mopped the floor. So now they're trying to clean the ceiling fan and all the dust is getting on the floor they just mopped. All those sort of crazy decisions come from not cleaning in that spiral. And it slows you down. It means a lot of recleaning the same surfaces twice or leaving splatter from one surface on another. That spiral really controls how much dirt you can get out of that room. It also allows our employees to not have to think so much on what they're cleaning. They just know, it's under my hand, I clean it as I'm moving around. And that allows them to think big picture. They're able to clean that room. And instead of thinking about, what do I need to dust next, they're able to look around them going, this family has young children. Wouldn't it be adorable if I took some extra time to take the toys in their bedroom and make them have a little fight scene for the kid to come home to? Wouldn't that be sweet? Or, gee, this customer loves coffee. Let me take out their coffee cup and spoon and put it by the coffee maker for tomorrow morning. That sort of stuff they're never going to have a chance to think about and notice if they're trying to figure out what they did or didn't clean, what's clean, what's dirty, what's shiny, what's not. By cleaning in that spiral, they don't have to think about it. They know that every time we clean a home, every surface that can tolerate it has been wet cleaned with a rag and fiber rag and cleaner, and the customer can be confident that every surface has been touched and cleaned. And we don't have to think about, is it shiny, is it not, is it dirty, is it not. They can think big picture about how to make this home beautiful for the customer.
That's terrific information. And I've never thought about because the process is so clearly defined, they get to think about the specific things like leaving the coffee cup out. No, that's the kind of thing that just as a customer makes you feel really special. I mean, it's a very, very small thing in terms of time and effort for someone to do, but it makes a huge impact.
Absolutely. And that's something we call the Maypro Wow Factor. We specify with our employees, thou shalt not leave a room unless you've done 3 things to that room to make it feel loved and cared for. We care as we clean. That is one of our mottos. And, it's, like you said, sometimes it takes moments, little things like you can take a box of facial tissue, pull a couple of tissues out, pinch them so they're little flowers and tuck them back in so the tissue box is exploding with flowers. It takes 2 seconds to do. Looks adorable. But The key there is when the customer comes home, they go, wow, my bathroom looks like a hotel. I may or may not have much money. My kids may be destroy this house in 20 minutes, but for right now, I feel like my house is beautiful. And that means something to them. And our employees, we encourage their creativity. They do so many wonderful things for our customers, and I encourage them to take pictures and send it in to us so we can help them make brag boards locally and win awards on a nationwide scale for who does the cutest stuff. And some of the things they come up with are just phenomenal. And it's not about the time, it's about the creativity and the caring and the noticing what that means something to that customer. I had one employee who wrote knock-knock jokes and little kid jokes to one of the families that had small children that she cleaned for, because the kid had a blackboard in her bedroom. And she just started, writing a joke. First, she started writing hello and, hope you had a good day. And, she saw the kid was what the age the kid was and started writing little jokes. And it became a thing where that child would insist, Mom, drive home. I'm excited about getting home to see what her joke was I made per day. And that's the sort of connections we want to build with our customers. And it's not about the time. It's about I notice this as I'm cleaning, who lives here and what means something to them. And we really try to encourage that.
Those are fantastic stories. Thank you for sharing those. I like those a lot. Let me jump in and get a little more specific. I'm curious how you use microfiber in general, specifically mops and towels, what pieces you use, and how you use them most effectively.
Okay, gladly. We use a lot of microfiber, so there's a nice little list. Pretty much we clean every surface we can with microfiber. Microfiber really is your gold standard for cleaning materials. Whoever is still using cotton and huck towels, I just don't understand why. The amount of dirt removal you're able to get and the amount of shine you're able to leave and the lack of lint, there's nothing that compares to quality microfiber as far as I'm concerned. And so we use color-coded microfiber rags to wipe down every surface that we can. We particularly use the waffle weave, big 16 by 24 size cloth for our kitchens and bathrooms. And we use the terry weave 16 by 16 type cloth for our light dusting in general areas. We found that the waffle weave microfiber all microfiber is scrubby and pulls a lot of dirt, but that waffle weave really gives you that extra scrub for really, mucky, dirty things in the kitchens and bathrooms, and that matters for us. So that's where we use it. And the terry weave glides over things faster and easier for dusting and doesn't snag and what have you, so that we find that that's excellent for doing all the furniture and wood and glass, etc. That we're using that for, I'd say, majority of our major cleaning tasks. Floor, we also use a wet glide microfiber mop pad. We actually had Microfiber Wholesale make a specific sized one for us because we have a particular mop size that we think is ideal for residential cleaning. And the wet glide microfiber on the floor is a must if you want shiny wood floors or shiny marble floors. Any floor that, that dark stained wood that just is vicious, it's showing every last footprint or every last smear. Microfiber makes a huge difference in giving you that shine. And we find it does a wonderful job. And we also use something called the flexible duster, which is basically this long, bendy, thin metal wand with foam and then microfiber chenille-fingered fabric over it. Basically a big, long, sword-looking thing that can be bent into any shape you want. And we use that to dust everything that we can't actually hand wipe. As a company, we focus on, if you can reach it, really clean it. So any collectibles, any picture frames, anything that's within arm's reach, we want to have actually really, properly cleaned with a disinfectant cleaner and microfiber rag. But ceiling fans or light fixtures or anything high up that we can't actually take the rag to, we're using this flexible duster because those little chenille fingers get into everything and they can tolerate being sprayed down with wet cleaner as well. So if a ceiling fan is really gross, we can give it a good scrub. And the microfiber holds on to a lot of dirt, and that tool can be folded in so many wonderful ways. We can fold it to do the fans. We can fold it to do air exchanges for the central air. You can put it long and skinny to get that annoying little spot between the stove and the refrigerator that just nothing else gets inside there, all that kind of stuff. And so we use that all over the place as well. And I think that's all the microfiber tools we use. And we get them Microfiber Wholesale, which is...
That's an excellent list.
Yeah, and I know some people love glass cloths and things like that. And we love them too. They do work great. But our big thing with our pros is try to keep their supplies tight. Everything they have must do more than one thing and trying to keep the number of things they're keeping track of as small as possible. So if you have quality microfiber, it doesn't lint anyway, so we don't use like a glass cloth specifically. We can use the waffle weave and the terry weave for the glass. It still does a great job. But if you have the capacity to do it, the glass cloths are awesome too. But so it's our full list.
You mentioned you do business with us at Microfiber Wholesale, and you've been in the industry for 20 plus years and have worked with a lot of vendors. And I'm curious, just why have you chosen to do business with Microfiber Wholesale?
Oh, I will gladly go on about that. I love Microfiber Wholesale, and I swear this is not for an advertisement or this. Maypro, as a franchise, actually refuses to take any sort of spiffs from our. For those that don't know the industry term, we don't take any sort of kickbacks or money from our vendors. It's something as we as a company just don't believe in. So this is purely from my heart, where I will say Microfiber Wholesale is the best microfiber vendor, and frankly, one of the better janitorial vendors I've ever worked with. What I love about Microfiber Wholesale is the commitment to customer service, the standing behind the product, the speed of response, and the accuracy of the orders, and the quality of the product. And all of those, I'd give you guys a 10 out of 10. The thing that stands out to me is, we've had situations where something breaks, and, it's never a, what did you do to it? It's a, oh, let me help you. Let me send you out a replacement. Let me find a better version of that for you guys to use, because clearly you're more rough on them than you had previously expected. Our contacts with the Microfiber Wholesale have been part of our research arm. They've done incredible work in finding us custom solutions, different solutions to challenges we were facing. And each time it's been game changers for us. Things that used to take us forever are now taking us minutes. And products that weren't standing up at all are now going through several hundred washes, no problem. But really, what stands out to me is, quite frankly, there's a lot of microfiber vendors. We've worked with a ton of them, and it was always the same drill. Whoever you're talking to is gruff and trying to run you off the phone. Orders were forever late, or something was partially out of stock, so you get like 2/3 of your order. Things would come in, and 1 in 10 rags was sewn funny, or snagging, or linted up, or the dye would run, and just things like that. And the quality wasn't there. Every step of the process has been absolutely just handled with professionalism, and that's something that I feel like a lot of the microfiber industry, forgive me, the end users that sell, not the manufacturers, but particularly microfiber distributors, I find that's been a challenge, finding ones that will treat the customer, our franchisees, graciously and professionally. And Microfiber Wholesale really gets that. And, oh, by the way, with really great pricing. So we didn't have to sacrifice, paying double to get treated nice, which it means a lot.
Well, thank you very much, and I promise we didn't pay Melissa to say any of that, but it's very gracious of you, and we certainly enjoy doing business with you and appreciate it.
I swear, not a dime. I mean it.
Well, have you ever had an issue with a product? Like any problems you've run into? We're always kind of looking for ways to improve.
Actually, we have. And you mean within Microfiber Wholesale, or?
Yes.
Yes, we have. And actually, it's one of the places where I felt like Microfiber Wholesale really shone. Quite frankly, any company can handle good customer service when things are going right. The test of any company is when things go wrong. And that's why I feel like Microfiber Wholesale has really won our hearts, is how graciously they handle when things go wrong. The story that stands out for me is that flexible duster. We love it, but we've had some challenges where our pros, God love them, they're cleaning 6-7 hours a day, 5 days a week. They're bending that thing in every single, it's so much fun, I guess, because it does so many wonderful things. They're bending that thing in every direction known to man and 5 times over. And so they're wearing out. And Microfiber Wholesale has been wonderful in going to China and all their subcontractors they know and sourcing us all these different stem options, trying to get us custom ones that will withstand the multiple bendings and abuses wrought upon it by our pros. And they've been so good to work with in terms of replacing broken ones in the interim with our offices until we can find the right solution, sending us different samples, trying to custom make different choices. And we found some choices that really solved, and made that a success. And it's a product we loved. We we had a challenge with the durability just because of the way we use it. And, the answer I got back wasn't what are you doing to it? It was how do we help you do what you're doing with it and have it hold up? And let me get you some free replacements for now until we can fix it. And, I've rarely, if ever, heard that from other vendors. There was no defensiveness. There was just, how do we help you do what you're doing not you're doing it wrong. And that means the world to us.
Well, thank you very much. And I promise we didn't pay for that answer either. But I think we do very much share your management philosophy in terms of how you treat people is really paramount to how you do business.
Yeah, and
well, Melissa, let me steer you on one last question, and I'll let you go. If you were an existing residential cleaning company, or you consider starting up a residential cleaning company, what would be some of the factors to consider in terms of joining up with MaidPro?
so you're asking if I'm standing there today going, I want to open my own cleaning company, and I'm trying to decide between doing it myself or going with a franchise, or if I'm already looking into a franchise and deciding which one, or both.
Both, but probably more the former. You're considering starting up and you're just looking around, do I want to go with a franchise or not?
Got it. I would encourage anybody that's thinking, gee, I want to get into house cleaning and not sure, if they want to join a franchise or not, which one to go to, etc. The biggest thing I can only stress to everybody is if you want this business to be big, you want to look at a franchise, period. The challenges of running your own cleaning business with scale, in other words, growing it to a real, substantive size business, is frankly, as far as I'm concerned, close to insurmountable without assistance in this day and age, particularly as it relates to marketing. So much is moving so fast in the world of online marketing, properly developing websites and ability to offer estimates online and take in customer leads and offer effective drip marketing to those customers and running effective pay-per-click campaigns with landing pages that actually work. All of that expertise, as a small cleaning company, your focus should be on providing gracious customer service and graciousness to your employees and nailing that piece. Trying to become an expert in marketing and online digital marketing and becoming an expert in cleaning chemicals and how they work and becoming an expert in vacuums and the different vacuum options in the industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You could lose your mind. There's so many things that in this business require subject matter expertise. And one small business owner trying to Google their way through it all, you'd spend most of your day Googling, never mind actually paying attention to your staff. I really believe that if you want to clean 20 people and get, 4 maids and be done with it, yeah, you probably can do that on your own. If you want to build a business that's something that, has enough substance where you're running it, not cleaning houses, and it's something big enough that, your next generation of kids might want to run it, it's something for real, you really want to look at finding a franchise that can give you those subject matter experts to back you up, to do the research you don't have time to do, to let you focus on the customers and the employees, and to find one that's going to really be there for you. Franchising, unfortunately, has a bad reputation where a lot of companies are all there to razzle-dazzle you during the sales stage, but once you're in the operation, the coaching and the support just isn't there. MaidPro in particular, we try to very much focus on the long-term relationship we have with our franchisees. We are always winning franchise satisfaction awards in multiple publications because our franchisees are truly some of the happiest out there because we put so much energy into making sure that we are effectively coaching our existing franchisees. We give them every resource we can think of and then some, trying to, we jokingly, we're all over them like white on rice in a good way. We're their family, there to support them and teach them and keep them from having to be that subject matter expert on their own. So for anyone trying to decide to get into this, don't do it on your own. This could be a really lonely, complicated business trying to just figure out by yourself. Get the help you need.
Well, excellent, Melissa. Thank you. I've kept you on longer than I intended to, but this has been really fun and I think really great information for everyone listening. So again, that was Melissa from MaidPro. So thank you for talking with us today. Everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more about who we are and what we do, you can visit us at microfiberwholesale.com.
Thank you so much.